There's a number on your trading account. For most traders, it's just data, a balance. But for some, it stops being data. It becomes identity. The bigger that number gets, the more it starts to feel like proof. Proof that you're smart. Proof that you've made it. Proof of who you are. And the moment it becomes proof is the moment it becomes dangerous, because numbers move, markets move. And when the proof of who you are can change by 20% in a week, your sense of self starts riding the same volatility as your portfolio. Today, we're going to talk about the most subtle identity trap in trading. The trap where the account size becomes the trader. Welcome back. This is episode 16 of the Perp Trading Psychology series, and we're opening Arc 3. RC1 was about the foundational mistakes, the patterns every new trader runs into. Arc 2 was about the emotional patterns, tilt, drawdown, profit, taking news, burnout. RC3 is about something different. The long game patterns. The ones that separate traders who last a decade from traders who quit in a year. This first one, the account size identity trap, is everywhere in trading, and almost nobody talks about it, because the trap looks like success. Quick explanation of what this trap actually is. In normal life, your identity is built from a lot of things. Your work, your relationships, your hobbies, your values. If one of these takes a hit, the others hold you up. In trading life, especially full-time trading life, the account becomes load-bearing. You start measuring weeks by what the account did. You start measuring months, years. Slowly, without noticing, the question, how am I doing, becomes the same question as, what's my account at? And at first, when the account is going up, this feels great. You're doing well. The number says so. But what's actually happening underneath is your self-worth is getting fused to a volatile asset. And when the volatility hits the downside, it doesn't just damage the account, it damages you. Let's get into the neuroscience of why this fusion happens. The brain doesn't naturally separate tools I use from things that are me. When you spend enough time with anything, a craft, a relationship, a portfolio, the brain starts treating it as an extension of self. This is called self-object fusion. It's the same mechanism that makes a violinist feel personally insulted when someone criticizes their instrument. The same mechanism that makes a parent feel attacked when their child is criticized. For full-time traders, the account is what you spend the most active mental energy on, so it fuses fastest. And once fused, every drawdown is no longer a financial loss. It's an identity loss. That's why a 10% drawdown can feel disproportionate to its actual financial impact. The math says you lost 10% of capital. The body is reacting as if you lost 10% of self. These are not the same thing, but the brain doesn't know that. The chemistry of this fusion is worth understanding in more detail. When you experience a gain, the brain releases dopamine. Normal, pleasant, useful. But there's a second neurotransmitter cascade that's more interesting. The brain also releases oxytocin and serotonin in patterns associated with social bonding and self-narrative reinforcement. The same circuits that bond you to a partner or a child start bonding you to the trading account. Over months and years of profitable trading, the bond deepens. The account stops being external. Neurologically, it starts being incorporated into the self-model. This is the same mechanism that makes elite athletes feel like their body is their identity. The same mechanism that makes scientists feel their research is their identity. For traders, the equivalent is the balance sheet. And once the balance sheet is in the self model, it's almost impossible to remove. The body doesn't know how to distinguish "my account dropped" from "I dropped." It just registers a generic identity, threat signal, and dumps cortisol into the bloodstream. This is why drawdowns feel chemically different to fused traders versus unfused ones. The math is the same. The chemistry is not. There's an identity shift trap that happens when the account grows fast. In month 1, you tell yourself you're a trader with a small account. By month 6, if you've doubled, you tell yourself you're a trader who knows what they're doing. By year 2, if you've 10x'd, you start telling yourself you're a great trader. And here's where it gets dangerous. A trader who believes they're a great trader sizes up, takes bigger positions, holds longer, takes setups they wouldn't have taken at smaller account size. Not because the strategy changed, because the identity did. The strategy that worked when you saw yourself as a small, careful trader stops working when you see yourself as a great trader. Because great traders, in your story, take bigger swings. The setups that were obvious skips at small size become, "This is the kind of trade I should be in," at large size. This is the silent blow-up pattern of mid-career traders. Their account didn't kill them. Their identity killed their account. There's a specific pattern worth describing: the big number distortion. When your account hits a round number, your first 100,000, your first million, something happens in the brain. You feel different. You should. It's a real milestone. But here's the trap. You also start trading different. The position sizes that felt comfortable at 90, 5,000 feel small at 100. So you adjust up, just a little. The trades you used to take patiently now feel like they're worth more attention. So you check more often. The setups that were clean entries before now have to feel worthy of the bigger account. So you pass on simple ones and force complex ones. Across a few months, the entire trading style has drifted. And the worst part, you didn't notice it happening. Because each individual adjustment was small. By the time the drawdown comes, your strategy is unrecognizable from what got you here. There's a related trap: the downside identity collapse. The flip side of believing the account is you is what happens when the account crashes. A 30% drawdown isn't just 30% of your money. To the fused trader, it's 30% of themselves. The behaviors that follow are predictable. You stop telling people what you do because you can't bear to update them on the loss. You stop journaling because writing the truth makes the identity damage permanent. You start avoiding the chart because looking is the same as looking at how much of yourself is gone. This is not laziness or weakness. This is identity protection. The body is trying to disconnect from a source of pain. And the source of pain is the same screen you use to check 10 times a day. The trader who never decoupled identity from account has nowhere to retreat to. The retreat iced the loss. There's a specific archetype I want to describe: the phantom recovery trader. This is the trader who, after a deep drawdown, can no longer see their account as it is. They see it as it should be. In their head, the account is still at the peak. The current number is a temporary state. The real balance is the one that existed before the drawdown. And every trading decision is now organized around getting back to that real balance. This is how revenge trading and overleveraging start, not as risk-seeking behavior, as identity restoration behavior. The trader isn't trying to grow capital. They're trying to restore self. And here's the cruelty of it. The more they need the recovery to feel right again, the worse their decisions become. The need to be whole again drives the trades that ensure they stay broken. Most traders who blow accounts after big drawdowns don't blow up on the way down. They blow up on the way back, trying to fix the identity. The decoupled trader has a different relationship with drawdowns. They see them as financial events that require recovery time, not identity events that require restoration. They size down, run the process, let time and edge rebuild the capital. The fused trader cannot do this. The fused trader has to act because the identity is in pain right now, and the pain demands resolution. This is the difference between traders who recover from drawdowns and traders who get killed by them. There's a cultural amplifier worth naming. Crypto trading culture especially fuses identity to account size in public ways. Posting your P&L, showing the screenshot, the "I'm up X this year" tweets, the "look at this trade" videos. In moderation, these are harmless. They become dangerous when the public posting becomes part of how you understand yourself. Once you've publicly anchored yourself to a number, that number is no longer just data. It's reputation. It's how others see you. And now every move in the account isn't just affecting your wallet. It's affecting your social standing. The pressure to keep the number going up, or worse, the pressure to recover after a drop, becomes enormous. Not because of the money, because of the audience. The traders who post the most often during the up periods are the same traders who go quiet during the down periods, because the public account has become a public identity. And the body can't tolerate having the identity slip in front of everyone. This is one of the strongest cases for staying private about your trading, not because of jealousy or risk, because public fusion makes private fusion worse. There's a leverage angle that intensifies the trap. On Perps, the account moves disproportionately to the underlying. A small move in price becomes a large move in account. This means the identity volatility, the up and down of the felt sense of self, is amplified just like the financial volatility. A spot trader on a stable book might feel small daily identity ripples. A 10x perp trader on the same emotional architecture is going to feel identity earthquakes, multiple per week. Over years, this is exhausting. The trader who survives a long perp career isn't just managing money. They're managing the rapid swings of a fused identity nervous system. Pros who've traded perps for decades will tell you the same thing. Somewhere along the way, they consciously detached identity from the daily account number. Not because they didn't care anymore, because they figured out it was the only sustainable architecture. So how do you actually decouple your identity from your account? 3 practical rules. 1. Define yourself by your process, not your number. When someone asks you how trading is going, the trained response is to quote the account. The fix is to quote the process. I'm running my strategy clean. The risk per trade is at 1%. The journal is up to date. That answer reflects who you are as a trader, not what your account is doing. If you can't give that answer, your identity has fused. And the fusion is what needs work, not the account. 2. Have at least one non-trading source of identity that is at maximum intensity. This is the same rule from the burnout episode, but it applies even when you're profitable. You need one thing: fitness, music, language, cooking, parenting, that you take seriously enough that it can hold you up when the trading identity wobbles. Not as a hobby, as a parallel source of self. The trader who has only the account as identity has zero resilience. The trader with 2 identities has 50% more. 3. Practice account blind reviews. Once a month, review your trading without looking at the dollar amount. Look at the trades. Did they follow the plan? What was the average R? How was the discipline? The review should be possible without ever opening the balance. If you can't review without looking at the number, your evaluation of yourself depends entirely on the number. That's the fusion. The pros review the work. The amateurs review the score. There's a flip side worth knowing about. When you decouple identity from account, something counterintuitive happens. The account often gets better, because now you're not chasing trades to feel a certain way about yourself. You're not avoiding trades because they damage how you see yourself. You're not sizing up out of pride or sizing down out of shame. You're just running the process. And the process, freed from emotional contamination, produces cleaner outcomes. This is what every long-term trader eventually realizes. The traders who survive decades aren't the ones with the biggest accounts. They're the ones with the most stable relationship to the account. The fusion feels like commitment when you're inside it. It feels like care, like discipline. It's actually the opposite. It's a vulnerability, a trade waiting to break you. The decoupling feels cold at first, like you don't care anymore. But it's not coldness, it's stability. It's the foundation that lets you trade for 30 years instead of 3. To summarize today's episode, the account size identity trap is when self-worth fuses with the balance on the screen. The brain naturally treats things you spend energy on as extensions of self, and full-time trading fuses the fastest. The dangerous shifts happen at milestones. Around number account triggers sizing creep, setup snobbery, and attention drift. None of which you notice, because each adjustment is small. The downside flip is brutal. A fused trader doesn't lose money in a drawdown. They lose themselves. Public fusion through PL posting makes the private fusion worse. The 3 rules for decoupling. Define yourself by process, not number. Maintain one non-trading identity at maximum intensity, and practice monthly account blind reviews. Underneath all of it is this realization. The trader who lasts a decade isn't the one who chases the biggest number. It's the one who has the most stable identity around whatever number happens to be on the screen this week. The account is what you do. It's not who you are. And the day you really believe that is the day your trading career stops being fragile. In the next episode, we're going to talk about the most dangerous question in trading. Skill versus luck. How do you actually tell the difference between being a good trader and being a lucky one? Why do bull markets make every retail trader feel like a genius, and bear markets reveal who is actually skilled? And the framework pros use to honestly attribute their results to either side of the line. If today was about how the account doesn't define you, the next one is about how short-term results don't either. Appreciate you all for listening. If this episode found you in a moment where you were checking the balance 10 times a day, take that as the signal. The number is data. It is not you. Subscribe and share with anyone whose self-worth tracks their portfolio. And I'll see you guys in episode 17. Start trading now on Mosey Finance. Trade perps everywhere with one dashboard. Link in bio.